Sports Information Director Adam Heinzen here with Wisconsin Lutheran College third-year head baseball coach Dave Reineman as we preview his team's season, which is about to begin next week in Fort Myers, Florida. Dave, thanks for joining me today.
Sure, you're welcome.
Dave, as we take a quick glance back at your 2010 season, your ball club finished 11-26 overall and 7-15 in the NAC. However, you achieved back-to-back 10-win season for the first time since 2002 and 2003, and also achieved the most conference victories since 2003. Your team came up short by 3 or fewer runs in 8 games last year. What do you think was the contributing factor in those close losses?
You know, each game has its own reasons why you come out on the winning end or the short end. I think last year, thinking back, I would say, we had one game, the tying run was thrown out at the plate to end the game, and in a few situations, so there are different events that happen. I would say if we'd have to put our finger on one thing, it was our pitching depth, or a lack of our pitching depth kind of caught up to us sometimes in those close games where maybe we had to leave a pitcher in a little bit longer than we would have liked and a little bit past when he had maybe lost his best stuff. Or also maybe we didn't have that one or two real solid guys in the bullpen that we could bring in and shut the door when we had the lead or keep the team there.
Great. Your team is in the midst of its 7th and final week of practice before the first pitch of the 2011 season next week in Fort Myers. How anxious is everyone to take the field for the first time?
Well, definitely anxious. I guess first speaking for the players, they're ready to go. They're ready to go after week 3, I think, being inside, they're excited and they feel that they're ready for some good things. As a coaching staff, I think no matter how long you practice, you always have a little bit of hesitation. There's always more time that, we could get a little bit more in, but we feel good. We're ready to go. There's definitely a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm to get 2011 underway.
Your season opens with 15 straight non-conference games before you open Northern Athletics Conference schedule on April 2nd. Can you talk a little bit about the teams that will be facing outside of conference play this year?
Yeah, I guess just a couple of familiar faces. We'll have Beloit College after we finish up our spring trip. We'll have Beloit. We're hosting them this year, so a team that we play regularly, non-conference. Also, just from last year, just the only other returning non-conference team that we have in that stretch is going to be North Central University out of the Twin Cities. So they'll be coming down, we'll be hosting them. Some of the other teams will be some new faces this year, from Minnesota Morris to Milliken, a real good Augustana team that will be facing down in Florida. So it'll be a challenging schedule, one that we feel that we should be able to come away with a good amount of wins and really get us playing good solid baseball as we head into NAC play.
Great, thank you. And why don't we begin to break down your team, position players, and where you think you may see some of your guys fitting in, starting with the infield.
Sure, starting with the catcher spot. I think we have definitely someone back there we feel real strong with, and senior Josh Farrell. Josh will be really a workhorse for us, and we expect a real good season from Josh. And along with Josh, we'll have a newcomer, Josh Tangway, will see a significant amount of action behind the plate. And also Tyler Shane, who's our most versatile player. Tyler will also play some infield for us and the outfield, but Tyler's a catcher by heart, and that's his first love. And he's going to move around a little bit, but we expect him to get behind the plate also. Going around the horn, first base, Doug Martin. Looks like the starter as we go into the season at first base. Doug's a good target over there, and real good defensive player. He's really developed in that area. Then also adding some depth there, Josh Farrell on games that he's not catching can move over and play some first base, along with Taylor Meyer, who will also be able to fill in and get some work at first if needed. Second base, we have another newcomer, Garrick Day. Garrick's a real good athlete out of Elk Mound High School, and Garrick's looking really good in our preseason, both offensively and defensively. And also at second base, I've mentioned Tyler Shane, who will be able to get some work in there. We have Sam Dunham, who's a versatile player. And also Ben Edmondson's another guy that can play infield, outfield, and a variety of infield spots. Going over to the hot corner at third base, we would have Taylor Meyer, who I mentioned can play at first, but Taylor on paper is going in as our starting third baseman. Backed up, Ben Edmondson can also play some third base along with Sam Dunham, some of our more versatile guys. And then at shortstop, we have senior Justin Barkhurst, who we hope can really anchor our defense and also be a big force for us offensively.
Great. Well, thanks for breaking down the infield. Let's move it to the outfield.
All right. In the outfield, I guess starting with center field, we're looking for Ethan Geist to play center field for us this year. Another senior. Ethan, a very gifted athlete, and we want, as I mentioned, JB to be our anchor in our defense. We'd like Ethan to be that anchor in the outfield for us in center field. We have Ryan Polash, another senior, who can play either corner outfield spot, can also play center field. We're expecting good things from Ryan as well. And then also I mentioned Tyler Shane, and also Tyler will be playing some outfield along with newcomer Cody Nevels, who's a very good athlete, looking to play some of the corner outfield spots. And also Matt Lang, when Matt isn't pitching, when his arm is fresh, ready to go, he's a very good outfielder and a good hitter for us as well.
All right, that covers your position players. Let's talk about your pitching staff. How does that look to shape up this season?
Sure, we have, I guess, anchoring our staff, we'd have Matt Lang, okay, our senior, again, expecting good things from Matt. I know he's expecting good things from himself. We're really excited for Matt and to have that true number one ace. Right now, Alex Raver, a freshman from Bartlett, Illinois, looks like our number two. Alex is really, he has a good live arm. He's really had a great practice session for us, and we expect good things from Alex. We have Josh Smith, the first year in our program. Josh is a guy that knows how to pitch. And I mentioned Garrett Day is another starter for us. Steve Gustafson, a junior, also will be a starter and also see a significant time in relief. And Alex Nikolai will be another newcomer that will be able to start some games. Along with him, we have Nate Alberts that will be able to see some relief, and some other players that we're looking for to bolster, maybe get some spot starts, and also to do a good job in the bullpen.
Great. You brought in a handful of newcomers this year. Who are some of the faces that the Warriors fans should get to know this season? Sure,
I guess we would start on the mound, and just talking about Alex Raver, I think he's a guy that's going to stand out to Warrior fans, again with his tall, lanky frame, his red hair, and his electric stuff. So he's a guy the Warrior fans will be excited to get to know. Alex Nikolai, a freshman too, that throws the ball real well. Along, I mentioned Nate Alberts and Josh Smith, first-year guys to the program. Then, as far as position players, I mentioned some of the guys from Garrett Day, Taylor Meyer, Cody Nevels are very athletic players for us, guys that can play multiple positions and swing the bat really well. Josh Tangway is a guy that's real solid behind the plate. So those are those players, and then also a few others that we expect some good things and can really add some good depth to our team this season.
Last season, Coach, 5 NAC teams finished within one game of each other at the top of the NAC standings. Where do you see the Warriors fitting into the NAC race this season?
Well, our expectations this year are to win 20-plus games, and we know that we're capable of that. We know it's not going to be easy, but that's what we expect. And whether those are NAC wins, whether those are non-conference wins, we're going to take those games and kind of let the chips fall as far as the NAC play. But that's our goal, that's our expectation. Definitely a strong NAC conference going into this year. You know, as you had mentioned, those teams right up in the top last year. Concordia, Chicago is always a power. We expect them to be right there along with Rockford. Edgewood and Aurora, both very good teams. So teams that will really be competing, and really I would say any one of 6 or 7 teams has a legitimate chance of winning the conference this year.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Again, the Warriors will open their 2011 season next week in Fort Myers, Florida. The Warriors open their season Monday, March 14th, with first pitch scheduled against Minnesota Morris. The Warriors will play 9 games on their spring break trip in a matter of 6 days. Again, Dave, thanks for taking the time with me here this afternoon.
Sure, thanks, Adam.